Buenos dias. Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me. And it's always good to be here in Barcelona. For me, it's the fourth time at the OpenNebula conference. I'm going to talk about the evolution of Netways or of OpenNebula at Netways for today. Unfortunately, I didn't realize that I have only 10 minutes. That's why I'm speaking more about the actual setup than the evolution itself. So anyways, first up, who am I? My name is Sebastian Saemann. I'm working right now as head of managed services for a company called Netways. I think some of you may know Netways because of our contribution to the open source monitoring project called iSinger. And yeah, my department, which I'm leading, is doing mainly hosting. So more precisely, we are doing managed hosting. And for this approach, we have our own internal or private cloud. And to give you an idea of what technologies we are using, I have this called Bird's View to give you an idea what kind of technologies we are using. So as you can see, we have the full stack. And on the upper layer, we are now launching at the end of November a platform which is a software as a service platform that is creating iSinger installations or instances, as well as other open source products. And that all is based on Apache Mesos in combination with Marathon, so the whole microservice and container stuff. But the real heart is the OpenNebula part. So we are using OpenNebula with the technologies plumbed around it. So we are using KVM, we are using Open Virtual Switch, and we are using Ceph as storage backend. Because we are heavy Puppet users, so in theory we have to have everything in Puppet, or at least in Puppet modules, in manifests, or in hierarchy structure. So everything has to be in version control. That's why we use Puppet, and we need some extension tools like Deformation. So quick poll, who of you know the Foreman project? Please raise your hands. Okay, and who of you are using it, or using it in production? So at least 3, if I counted correctly. So that's great. So for those guys who don't know about the Foreman project, the Foreman project is a lifecycle management tool. This lifecycle management tool takes care of the whole complete lifecycle of a bare metal system or a virtual machine. That means from installation up to its configuration and configuration changes up to its deletion, Foreman takes care. Additionally to that, Foreman takes also care to integrate the virtual machine or the bare metal system into existing data center infrastructure. So for instance, in the domain name services, DHCP, Pixie boot, and stuff like that. As well, Foreman comes with a great Puppet integration. That's really important to us. So we are using Foreman to have Foreman as an external node classifier that we can describe a role of a server or of our host group. So we are saying this is host group web server, and then Puppet takes care of the complete configuration and rolls out this configuration on top of the virtual machine or on top of the bare metal system. And as you can see on the right side, Foreman comes with a so-called compute resource support. And there are the most common compute resources available, but OpenNebula was not. That's why we decided at Netways to write our own extension for this. And how this works, I want to show you in this talk. So Foreman is using the Ruby fork library. The Ruby fork library is are some bindings that is capable of speaking to the most common platforms. Unfortunately, not to OpenNebula. That's why we had to start to extend the fork library first. The main or the whole workflow is that Foreman is communicating through the fork Ruby library to communicate to OpenNebula, and OpenNebula returns us, yeah, I'm done, I'm good, I have deployed a virtual machine, And as well, it returns back the MAC address, because we need this MAC address to, for hands-free installation. So every machine, every virtual machine is deployed or installed by using kickstart files or by preseed, so PXE boot. This is a basic example how the library is used. So this is at all Ruby, Ruby code. And it's pretty straightforward. All you have to do is require or include the Fog library. You can install it by gem install Fog. Our pull requests have been merged to the master branch into the Fog project. So they are available. And then you have to define an object, a connection object, where you set your connection endpoint. So this is the XML RPC endpoint of OpenNebula, and this is where Fog, in this case, is communicating to. And on at the bottom, you see you can initiate the virtual machine. So the method is new VM.save to allocate the virtual machine in the end. The cool thing is you can exchange the connection settings. So if you have multiple cloud providers like AWS or Google Cloud Engine and stuff like that, you can just change the connection settings and use the same methods to deploy your virtual machines. If we have a closer look into the Fog library, there are two sides. So it's pretty abstract on the right side. This is the side which Foreman, or which is the Ruby script, what I was showing you right now, is speaking. On the left side, there are the requests, which are actually done to the OpenNebula framework or to other frameworks. And for us, the most work was to map those abstraction to the actual requests of OpenNebula, because we don't know we did not know the Fog library, and we did not know the requests which have to be done inside of OpenNebula. And for instance, in what I was showing you, the .save method is just calling the server RB, where the classes and the methods are defined, and this is mapped, for instance, to the VM allocate. So in other words, the VM allocate method is used, and this is going to communicate to the XML RPC to OpenNebula. So in the end, we have a Foreman setup where we have also a web interface. So it's like the happy. We are using Foreman to create new virtual machines as well as bare metal systems. And there we can describe the role. We can add Puppet modules and parameters and stuff like that. And Foreman takes care of the complete integration. So Foreman is setting up the DNS forward and reverse entries. It's setting up the DHCP reservation in a specific subnet, and it, of course, deploys the OpenNebula part. And Puppet takes care of the rest. As soon as the virtual machine is booting up, it's prepared and it knows what kind of catalog it should receive and how it should be configured. The cool part for us is we can use the same methods or the same mechanisms to deploy virtual machines as well as bare metal systems. So our complete cloud infrastructure, what I was showing you with Ceph and all the other technologies, all is written down in Puppet, and all can be deployed by using Foreman, create new host, and it's automatically. Here are some links if you want to check it out by yourself. Feel free to contribute. It's not that good, but it works for us at least. And the last thing what I want to share with you is the OpenNebula Puppet module, which we initiated with Martin Alfke from example 42. Perhaps some of you may know him, and the guys of the Deutsche E-Post. And this is the Puppet module which we are using to provide a complete OpenNebula installation. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you very much. Muchas gracias for your attention. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them now or just grab me while I'm here at the conference.
Any questions? Hi, Thomas Polnick from Storecast Berlin. Have you tried this Foreman integration with your module?
Okay.
Sorry, it did not work. And
that's a real tough question right now.
And so my question is: I found, or we found only 2 years old code.
Yeah, it's not to be honest, it's not really maintained by us anymore, because right now we are using OpenNebula in version 4.8, I guess, and in that version, and I think we started with 3.2, migrated up to 4.8 with each release, and we started using it with, I don't know, 4.0 or something like that, and yeah, it works for us pretty good. Perhaps we can just speak in German, and we can discuss what's missing there.
For me, my question was: is there any maintenance for this code? But you said more or less.
Yeah, we have.
We will talk later.
Yeah, perhaps it's better. We have some mock-ups, and we have some testing what's included in the Fog library, and they test those tests, those automatic tests, and if they are working, it's good, but that does not say it's working in a real production. But for our case, we never had issues with that, so perhaps we just look at it in detail. Any more questions? Thank you very much.